When I was 10, I overheard a family member saying the following words: "You're not a grown-up until you're 30. I remember arguing the statement since I was convinced that the cutoff was actually 18 years. As I myself approach 30, I now have a much greater appreciation for this statement. Growing up seems to be a scale. In the beginning, you are a little blob of love. You are impulsive, emotional, forgiving, and nobody expects your behavior to be virtuous. Your parents and all of their friends pour their love and attention into you, and somehow you absorb it all and get used to it. This is where almost all of us start out. The other side of the scale is more difficult to define. The key question to answer is, what does it mean to be grown up? One way to answer this question is to discuss virtue ethics, religious and spiritual considerations, and hedonistic approaches to the question. But I want to move away from these contentious, purpose-laden approaches and suggest a procedural approach that might be more universally applicable. I believe that growing up entails 3 processes that need to conclude. The first process is awareness. Awareness begins with the simple recognition of consciousness, observing the I in "I need to poop," "I am thinking," and "I want to grow up." Current research suggests that this process starts around the age of between 12 and 15 months, when children form the ability to have minimal form of higher order thought necessary for access consciousness and phenomenal consciousness. But the process of awareness does not end with fledgling consciousness. Other forms of awareness extend into our later childhood and adulthood. I seem to be treated differently at 10 than I did at 5. My family seems to be less well off than my friends. My parents seem to fight all the time. I don't think my dog is on a farm upstate. While these examples may seem like they are in the distant past for you, adults sometimes spend lifetimes in unawareness. The more common examples of adult awareness may include: I am not going to realize my childhood dream. I don't have the face of a model. I did not treat my parents right when I was younger. If you can truly say about yourself that you have faced these and similar realizations about yourself, then you're aware. The second process is agency. At some point in your childhood, you realize that your actions have consequences, and that you perceive yourself to be in charge of your own actions. Maybe you pushed your friend and she got hurt. But agency is itself a scale. There is the young, elementary sense of agency, and advanced versions of agency. Many of us encounter the grown-up version of agency in our teenage years. This is when life-altering choices are placed in our hands. Do you want to finish high school? Do you want to work in order to make some extra money? Parents and society very wittingly let go of the near full control they have exerted over you up until this point. Your actions now have a major impact on the rest of your life. Ask yourself, when did you make the first life-altering decision for yourself? While illuminating, the answer merely reveals the beginning of your journey to agency. The end is very much out of sight for many of us. While rationally, we might know that our actions should be governed only by oneself, we often feel a plethora of social pressure weighing on our shoulders as we navigate life. And while I believe that understanding this is likely the mark of advanced awareness, it can also signal to us that we have not yet fully realized the potential of our agency. While this is disappointing, it also presents an opportunity for growth. What do you want? And when will you start walking in that direction? Finally, there is acceptance. Acceptance is fragile and difficult to attain. It is even difficult to recognize. It begins with acceptance of yourself and ends with the acceptance of yourself in relation to the universe. In the material sense, we are confronted by acceptance in our childhood. Maybe another child makes fun of us, calling into question our ability to accept our body and mind. We all remember situations when crippling self-doubt overcame us. Often these are specific moments in time. But when exactly did we move on from them? Was there a healing moment? A precise day and time and location when we simply shed all of the self-doubt? Maybe you had this moment, but most of the time, acceptance enters the mind slowly, steadily, and barely noticeable until we are reminded of it in some way and suddenly realize that it's there. Now that we have covered material acceptance, we must move on to what we can call universal acceptance. Can you say with certainty that you are who you tell yourself you are? If yes, why are you able to accept that statement, knowing that the spiritual and metaphysical realities of your life may well be an illusion? And if no, can you truly accept not knowing? I would urge you not to rush to answer any of these questions. Ponder them for a while. I believe that what's important here is not the answer to the first question of whether you are who you tell yourself you are, but rather the degree of confidence you have in answering either of the follow-ups. If you can truly say that you know your place in the universe, or that not knowing it doesn't prevent you from accepting yourself, then you are a grown-up. Where do you fall on this scale? Are you grown up? Is there anyone who is a grown-up? Maybe. I couldn't possibly try to apply the scale to every single person I know, but there is one individual who I believe fits the profile of somebody who is all grown up. I'm talking about Colm Doherty, a fictitious character from the 2022 movie The Banshees of Inisherin. If you haven't seen the movie, feel free to skip ahead, although I promise the film will still be worth watching, and I won't give away very much. We meet Colm in the early days of adulthood. He recently decided not to engage with the person who, until a few days ago, was his best friend, a man named Patrick. Colm fits all three of the hallmarks I laid out. He is aware of both his actions and of his environment. He displays agency to a shocking degree, not shying away from anything to assert his determination to be who he sets out to be. Finally, he seems perfectly accepting of his fate and his place in the universe. Knowing all this, I want to ask one more question. Do you want to grow up? Take the answer wherever you'd like. Since I love discussing these questions, I would be happy to see your answer in the comments. And because I'm a tiny channel, I will probably get around to responding to you. All the best, and thanks for watching.